Hello and welcome to Lockdown Diaries, the first of 3 creative writing workshops for Shakti women and the community. My name's Danielle and I've been a literature and creative writing teacher for the past 10 years. I'm here to take you through a series of short activities that I hope will not only get your creative juices going, but will also help you to work through all of the challenges, the uncertainties and the chaos of our lives during lockdown. From the laughter to the tears, the boos to the armpit beards, the tempers and the tantrums, the joys and the doldrums. I'm going to take you through a process of remembering, reflecting, and I really hope finding a place of gratitude for all that life has thrown you since that first announcement on March the 23rd that changed our lives forever. So I wanted to start today with an activity that I think is really simple but really important, called Be Your Own Best Friend. And the reason that I want to do this is because I think it's been so easy for us all to get into a negative headspace during this very difficult and challenging time where we're telling ourselves that we're not good enough. You know, we're not good enough mothers, we're not good enough sisters, daughters, we aren't good enough girlfriends and wives, mothers, and we aren't good enough at work, we haven't been learning technology fast enough. Whatever it is, I think that it's been very, very easy for us to get stuck on that track. And I want to get us off that track by helping us to see ourselves the way our best friends see us. What would our best friends say to us to help us to overcome these negative feelings? And we're going to do something really simple, and it is just to write a very short letter to ourselves. If you don't like writing letters, you can call it an email or you can call it a text message, whatever. You are going to talk to yourself as if you are your own best friend. So today I've invited Esther and Kola, 2 of our beautiful Shakti women, along to do this activity with me. And we're just going to start with a bit of a chat about lockdown and what it's been like for us. So Kola, how was your lockdown experience?
My lockdown was like a roller coaster. So it was very up and down. So at the start, being in my final year of uni, I had, let's say, 11 essays to do in my dissertation. And because everything had gone virtual, it was like a really big, it was like, wow, I was very overwhelmed and it was just a lot at the time. So I was really stressing, being in the house with all work closed, all offices closed. There were 7 of us in the house.
7?
Yeah. So I had my siblings and my parents, and the house was just very, you can imagine, very active and very loud. But I managed to, complete my dissertation and do all the 11 essays. I created a weekly schedule that I stuck to. I started working out, and when you work out, you feel good. So,
Kola, that's just, I just think you're wonderful for overcoming those challenges. It must have been so hard with 7 people in your household to just even find a space of peace to be able to study. So I just think you're amazing. I think it's really empowering for us to think about this. And Esther, what about you? How was your experience?
So little things like being scared to succeed, self-sabotaging a lot of the time, and living a mediocre life and being comfortable, and why I was so comfortable with it. I think just little things like that, as well as relationships with other people.
Honestly, I've got goosebumps because I think that, I felt that very much too. Yeah. I felt that.
So those are a lot of the things. And then obviously on the positive side, I learned to bake and to cook. Cooking for me when I was younger was a bit of a struggle just because I had eczema, so I couldn't really be in the kitchen a lot. And I think as I grew older, it made me feel less like a woman that I couldn't cook and stuff like that. So learning that was very important to me. So just working on my body and my mind especially, I think, was the biggest process.
Yeah, I had some highs and lows definitely. And I think also because it wasn't just lockdown, was it? There were other things going on in the world that made us, well, knocked us for six, really. I think, you know, and I also had, like most people, but I had a family situation. My dad is not well at the moment, and I was actually living in another country. I was living in Ecuador, and I had to get back to make sure that I was here just in case anything really bad happened to him. And so I found myself like living back at home almost with my parents, and that in itself was challenging because I'm a 38-year-old woman. I don't really want to be living with my parents right now. So I had to use strategies, basically, and I did what you did early on. I was given some advice by my work psychologist, you know, do your daily schedule. Wrote that down every day. I didn't necessarily stick to it all the time, but it did help me to kind of manage my days and manage my time, manage my emotions. I did a lot of journaling. I did try to do exercise as much as I could. I actually didn't adopt many new skills or anything like. I mean, I had to kind of adapt to teaching online, which was a new skill in itself. I think I'm a stronger person for it, actually, and it sounds like you guys are stronger for the experience that you've had. I think one of the key adjectives that we can use for ourselves in this period, and it sounds like this applies to all three of us, is reflective. So this activity actually starts with a bit of a warm-up, which is just to write down a few adjectives that you can, and only positive ones, by the way, a few positive adjectives that you can apply to yourself for that period during lockdown. And I'm going to start just by saying we were all reflective. So you choose your colour pen, go for it. So yeah, let's just write down a few of these words. And if you're doing this at home, you can just use a scrap piece of paper. It would be nice if you did this with your friends. I think it's a really nice activity to do with them, but if you're on your own, that's also totally fine. Just use a bit of scrap paper to write down these adjectives. So reflective, let's talk about some of the words we've put down.
So I've put focused, patient, determination, and perseverance.
Resilience, persistence, strong and patient.
Great. I put strong as well. I put playful because I think there were times when I actually spent about 2 hours just dancing on my own in my mum and dad's garden because I was missing going out and dancing so much. I was just like, I just need to put on some music, get in the garden and dance. And my mum was like, what is she doing? So those moments of playfulness just, I think, rescued my mind. I found myself being a lot more caring than I feel I normally am. Very adaptable, loving and happy. I was generally happy, and I think that's a real positive. So we're now going to turn these words into a letter to ourselves, imagining that we are our own best friends. Right? And you've really got to go for this. You can't hold back. Imagine your best friend has phoned you in tears. She's feeling really down. She's hating on herself. She's into that self-loathing negative space, and you have got to get her out of it. Right? How are you going to speak to her? You're going to write her a letter, basically, telling her all the things that she's brilliant at. Okay, and you just need a pen. Okay, so grab your pens and a notebook if you have one, or a piece of scrap paper is always fine. Right, and we're going to just give ourselves about 5 minutes to do this. If you're writing it as a letter, you might want to start dear, and then your name, and then something like, now's a good time to tell you. Yep, now is a good time to tell you. I want your final sentence to be directly addressed to you. So I want you to actually use your name. And don't forget, you've got these words to use in your piece if you get stuck, okay? I thought it would be really nice if we swap and read what we wrote to the other person, so it feels as if a best friend is actually speaking to you. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
My handwriting is
So,
horrible,
yeah.
I do apologise.
Is that going to work? Yeah. Let's go for it. So, do you want to start, Kola?
Yep. Dear Danielle, now's a good time to tell you how proud I am of you. You are such a resilient woman. You have proven how capable you are at overcoming the toughest of challenges. During lockdown, you adapted so quickly to living back at home with your parents, and at the same time, you did so much work to rebuild your relationship with your mom, showing her how much you care and how much you love her.
I think I might cry.
I know.
Try not to.
Tissue. I'm ready with the tissues if you feel like. It's fine.
I know you found it hard to cope with living back at home, but you did your best, and there is so much to feel grateful for, like how you didn't let online teaching beat you, how you made a schedule for yourself and almost stick to it every day, how you exercised, keeping yourself fit and healthy. You didn't let lockdown or being back at home or teaching online beat you, and you accepted what was happening with your dad's illness with so much love and grace. You are a strong and determined woman, Danielle, and I am proud of you. Well done.
Wow, that was so beautiful.
I really needed to hear that. I'm going to try not to get too teary-eyed, but thanks.
Okay, dear Kola, now is a good time to tell you that you can do it. You can make it to the end. You are strong, focused, determined, and you can get through a lot of it. See it as a small speed bump that you have to go over. There has been many times in the past where you had to face difficult situations and you have overcome them. This now is another one, which you have overcome. Giving up now will only make you feel like you have failed, and you are too far in to give up now. Be resilient. Be able to fight back when life throws challenges at you. Be someone who is able to say that I was strong, I never gave up, and I persevered to the end. Remember to be patient. Give yourself time to adjust and adapt to these new circumstances, and you will get through it. You will come out smiling and happy. Allow these challenges to shape you, to shape the person you will become in the future. Kola, you can do it.
That is so nice. How does it feel to hear that?
Very encouraging. Yeah.
I love the compassion that you showed yourself in that like, you know, be patient with yourself. I love that. Okay. And dear best friend, I'm going to say it, dear Esther, now is a good time to tell you that you are stronger than you think. That there were times before that you thought you wouldn't make it, but you're still here. Crying is a part of the process.
I feel like I'm about to cry now.
But with every tear, let it be followed by a smile. Let laughter clothe you. Let it be your secret weapon in every battle. You're going to get me in a minute. Learn to be patient with yourself, that everything comes at its expected time. But for now, remember that you are loved, unique, and worth it. Esther. So great. So I hope that you have equally as powerful as an experience as we've just had, because I think what we've just demonstrated is how important it is for us to take this moment and just appreciate ourselves and know that we are so much stronger than we give ourselves credit for, that we have it within us to overcome any challenge, and for those challenges to actually make us stronger, better people.
Yeah.
Feel like a group hug is on the horizon, but we're going to be COVID safe. And just say,
Elbows.
elbows. And thank you so much for joining me, Shakti Women. You are beautiful, you are wonderful. And thank you for joining us for this first creative writing workshop. I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.